you to Behind the Mic, episode number 9. Today, our special guest, we got a West Texas. We got 2 West Texas artists. One is definitely one of my close friends, and been knowing him for many years. I done seen this boy grow up, develop into a dope ass artist. We're talking about all around. Even so, that now he is signed. Kuntry DeLaRosa. For the ones that really know, Country Beat, Country Beast, Country McFly. As long as it's country, it's country. And then our second guest, we got HD Trilla out of Lubbock, Texas, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And this weekend we got Hip Hop Fest going on. Last night, everybody killed the stage. Tonight it's gonna be, same thing all over again, except we got a lot more artists coming through. So we're going to jump into this. Get to know artists a little bit. For the ones that may or may not have heard. We want to hear a little backstory and what y'all got popping. What start with you, Country? I've been on you for a long minute. I used to record you. It was and I mean, you was just a little young, and even then, me personally, I would see your concepts were way outside the box, very unorthodox. You stood out. You stood out. Very original. And of course, we may have had some tracks that we just played around too much. And it was like maybe it was way out there, but at the end of the day, that shit made you the artist you are today. Even so, you're signed now. You want to tell us. A little bit about, who it is you're signed to and,
okay.
How did that happen,
When I'm with La Machina Empire, that's under GT Garza, who's an artist from Houston who's been pretty successful there. I mean, he's had like 3-4 number 1 hits in Houston.
Yeah.
So, I mean, especially for Hispanics, like, I don't think there's been a Mexican artist come out of Houston as big as he's been since probably SPM.
Yeah.
So it's
he's on his way to be up there, like Texas legend to me because he's, I've known of him since back in the day, but like more and more people are knowing about him nowadays just because he's traveling more. He's doing hella shows, he's been all over Texas, y'all hit any other states, lately, has he
with him, last year we did New Mexico, we did the La Machina Invasion Tour with J9 and Clever and them. And we hit like Lubbock, Odessa, places that I was pretty familiar with, Amarillo, Abilene, which is pretty close to my hometown from Clyde, Texas. So Abilene's like Lubbock to Post or you know what I'm saying, small city outside. So we did that, and then I just personally we just did a promotional tour to New York last month.
Nice.
And that was like my first time really, really out of the state. So that was crazy. Like only New Mexico is as far as I've ever gone outside of Texas. So it was.
How was the love out there?
Oh man, it was crazy. It was real cool. We got to go to the Quad Studios, where Tupac got shot.
Yeah.
So we got to go there and met with some people there and did some networking. It wasn't nothing. We weren't going down there for nothing crazy, but it was just an opportunity to be out there, so we wouldn't,
anytime you get an opportunity,
especially go to New York.
Yeah,
that was cool. So to even have a chance to get your music put out there, and then it wasn't like they're just flying from Texas to New York. It was like we drove through, so it's like every state in between we get to hit, the Baltimores.
Yeah.
And, Tennessee and.
Did y'all run into anything crazy or?
Nothing too crazy, man. It was such a long drive and we had such a short time to get there. It was a lot of driving, so we didn't. We bought some weed in the middle of Times Square. That was pretty tight.
Yeah.
Just in the middle of the street. That was crazy to me.
Yeah, I hear a lot of stories. I personally have never been to New York, but every time this one goes, it's like they got something crazy to tell me, or they get to go somewhere that we as of right now, I probably wouldn't dream about going until I actually make it happen.
Yeah, well, when we got out there, it was nighttime, so we get in there and it's like we went and stayed in Queens, is where our apartment's at.
Yeah.
So we went out, we got in our apartment, we were like, whatever, we need to go to Times Square, we're only going to be here a couple of days, so we might as well go out tonight too.
Yeah.
So we just went down there and checked everything out. But we made the mistake of going in like winter months, so it's like 30 fucking degrees out there. Like, I'm from Texas, we don't even get winter very often.
I mean, we wear jackets and shorts. And shorts,
I was dying, man. It was the coldest thing ever. So we were walking around trying not to look like we're freezing and stuff. They sell beer like 24 hours there, so we bought beer and shit.
I didn't know.
Bought something to drink there. We drank that night. Didn't even drink that much. I drank like 3 beers and like I bought like a lime-a-rita and drank the lime-a-rita. Yeah. Don't drink those anyway. I don't ever drink those. Drank that. Didn't really get drunk. I just fell asleep. I woke up next morning sick as a dog. The second day I was there, throwing up in the morning. Like, we get out and we're heading to Quad Studios. Like, going through, New York traffic is just like constant. So we're like stuck in the middle of New York traffic, and I'm like hanging my head out the window, throwing up downtown New York. The whole time I'm at Quad Studios, I'm like running back and forth from the studio to the bathroom to throw up. Like, that was pretty funny. It was cool, man. It was a pretty cool experience. But yeah, I mean, we did that. We did Austin, South by Southwest, and promoted out there. I think G's got a tour coming up with J9 that's going to be at a couple of different, like San Antonio and stuff like that. He's been moving a lot. It's been crazy, man. I think we met up with G through just doing a feature. We paid him to get on a feature with us.
Nice.
Yeah, I did an album called Small Town USA like 3-4 years ago, and we reached out to him to do a feature on that. He did that for us. After that, when we did my album release, I think, one of the shows we did out there in my dad's hometown, Coleman, Texas, we invited him to come out there because we wanted him to do the video out there with us. So he did that and did the show with us.
Is that the one where y'all riding in the truck or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So we did that, and we had him do the show with us. And Coleman is a real small town. They don't have a lot of outside access to what's going on outside of their area.
Okay.
So whenever we go out there, it's a big deal. So we had a big show, have G come out, and G actually opened for me. And, we kind of brought, the people didn't even know G was coming, so it was kind of crazy, I think, but that kind of is what got the ball rolling, though. Like, he kind of saw the crowd we pulled in there. We did that, and we just kind of stayed in contact with them. Once I got back to Houston, kind of invited each other to go to different events, go to some of his shows, come hang out with us, and it just kind of evolved from there. We ended up talking about doing the project for Dark Days.
Yeah. And
as the talks about, actually doing a partnership came in the middle of doing that album. So it's been pretty cool though, man.
That's what's up, man. I've seen you put in work, and I've been seeing you put in work over the years, and one thing that I can say I respect about you, no matter what life threw your way, you followed that dream still, made it, making it happen, and that's a lot of things that we all just kind of just dream of, and either we keep pushing till it happens, or we get burnt out on it, or whatever the case may be,
Well, I got blessed, man, with that. I was, I was like right there at the end of my situation whenever, I got blessed with the opportunity to be able to do it full time. Like, I was still working, regular job. It was 9 to 5. I was working at a call center selling like timeshare.
Yeah.
And not even selling timeshare. I was like selling the idea of you to go to a timeshare, and when you got there, they like sell you a timeshare. Yeah. I'm doing that, working at 9 to 5. I got both my kids. I got 2 of my 3 kids. Had custody of them. Yeah. Kind of struggling. That's basically that kind of grind, and wasn't making the kind of money I needed. I was close to losing my house and my apartment anyway, my car, everything, and it was like right before that happened, and like I'm like a week away from eviction is whenever I got the text from G and them about going out there and doing that. So as soon as I got that rolling, I pretty much dropped everything I was doing. Let my apartment go, all that, and set up a situation with my kids, my baby's mom, for them to stay there. Since then, it's just been on the go. constant just
That's what's up, man. You know, I mean, I'm glad that you stuck with it and you were blessed with that opportunity, because you've always worked hard to try to put out your music. And when I say your music, the kind of music you want to make, not the kind of music that everybody else wants to make, you know, because everyone else does it, you know.
Yeah, man.
You've been in your own lane. You've been in your own since the get. You know, it's even though a lot of it was kind of like in the early stages of what you do now.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you're now more of everything you do is more polished. You found your niche. You found your style.
Right.
You found you. You found your voice. You found everything. To me, I feel like now you're a complete artist, and you showcase that. You know,
right.
From the performance game to your lyrical content, to your visuals. You know, I mean, everything an artist should be. You know, you embody that.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that, for real, man. Man, I don't think people know how long we've been doing it, man. Like, I'm 28. I've been recording since I was like 13, 14 years old in Arlington, Texas, where I started. So it's like, it's a little different. Like, a lot of people, I think, get into it and they're like freestyle rappers, or like they freestyled or whatever, or stuff like that. And I think me and there's a dude named Young Titan.
Yeah.
We hopped in it together, so we hopped in straight into making songs. Though it was like the first thing we did wasn't a long freestyle.
Was that is that when you called yourself SOS?
It was even before that. Like, SOS came.
Because whenever your guys' names are together, I always think SOS, and
it's always
I always
SOS.
thought that was like,
that's like the base of everything I've ever done is SOS. Yeah. So it's like everything built from that. The first actual group we ever did, though, was like Toon Squad or something, and it was like me, Jesse. It was in Arlington, Texas. So it was like me, Jesse.
So that may be why I didn't know at the time, because when you're here in West Texas,
we came.
You know, that's when I remember SOS, but I didn't, you know.
Yeah, because what we did was, like, first it was me and Titan and like 4 or 5 other guys. Me, Titan, and a dude named go by the name Guap now. It was us and like 5 other people, and then it kind of slowly cut down of, you know, who was kind of serious and who remained friends type of thing. So it ended up being me, Titan, and Guap, and that was what SOS was. It was the 3 of us. And then for whatever reasons, Titan moved out here, and I moved out here with him to come live with his dad.
Yeah.
And it was just me and him, so me and him kind of carried that. You know, met up with, you know, Pastor Sky, Craze, and Joe Torch and all them, and then that's how we put our first real project, like actual printed up CD. I was in high school. That was like my junior year in high school that happened.
And I think at that time when that was probably going on, I knew of you guys, but I don't think me and you had met just quite yet.
Probably not.
I think I probably met you after SOS.
Yeah, I was like,
you already. I think that's when you were probably already Kuntry B.
Yeah, I'd already kind of started going into like a solo artist.
Yeah.
But
in fact, I think that may have been when we started recording, when you started going that exact direction.
Right, I started doing it. Yeah, I needed somewhere to record by myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was like, that's basically, it was SOS, and, you know, we did that album, and after that we always stayed, you know, messing with each other, but he kind of, you know, followed what he wanted to do, and
he seemed to be more like,
and he was a producer, so it's like he had projects and stuff he was doing. I was in a different situation too, so it's like I was kind of bouncing from click to click, you know, GR Stars and Past the Sky and stuff like that. And then I think there's a dude named Prestige that was, you know, in our circle of friends too. And as soon as he graduated, we moved to Lubbock. And when I moved to Lubbock, that's whenever I met people like Mr. Trice and Zainab and, you know, Trilla, and kind of formed that circle of people. And that was kind of the second, like, it was like the steps for my stuff was like Arlington, and then Odessa, and then Lubbock, and then everything.
So your movements were lit in a sense literal. You know, you moved to another town or whatever.
Yeah, I've been blessed enough to be a local artist in 3 different markets. So
you know, it's crazy though. You mentioned local artists. Like, Like, I don't see you that no more. You ain't no local artist. You an independent artist. You know I mean, you're living the life. You know, and I don't mean like lavishly or nothing like that. You're living you're doing music full time. You're doing what you love, and at the end of the day, everybody's getting taken care of, and you're good. And it's only the beginning for you. This is still the beginning stages of that of your success and your story. Still,
it's exciting. It's cool. I think it's different being in the middle of it and it's happening, so it doesn't feel as big a deal as people make it.
Yeah.
And which I'm blessed. I'm definitely blessed, and I love that people. It's still kind of weird though. It's still weird when people say stuff, and it's like, to me, it's just like, I'm still hustling. I'm still trying to make something pop. You know what I mean?
See, that's what's going to keep you good and keep you, because you can't ever get content. No matter how big you get, you can't get content, because the moment you get content, you lose everything.
And that's an awkward thing, man. Especially for me, I've always been like an introvert, so I'm not really comfortable. And then, like, what do you say to people whenever they're like, oh man, it's always young kids from like my hometown. They're like, oh, I'm gonna be where you're at one day, and it's like, boy, I'm still trying to get a check, man. You don't want to be where I'm at one day. You better be better than me, because don't strive for this yet.
Yeah,
that's weird, man. Or when people it's still hard to accept the praise sometimes. Not feel like you're being a jackass, or you're being
you know what it kind of is too,
being a douche. Oh yeah, I know it's dope. So that's kind of weird, and so but it's fun. It's a transition, man, and it's especially like when it comes to like doing features and stuff like that. That's weird too, because it's like I gotta look people that had seen me not have nothing, and like just see me just be. Yeah. We're on the same cards. Like, I've performed on your show. Yeah. You asked me, I paid you for a slot on your show before and stuff like that. And now it's like when they ask me for a feature, it's hard to be like, give me, it's not free no more. So it's like, I think, what I'm saying? That's a hard transition. That's the hardest thing to do, is to look at people that you have been, in the dirt with, kind of, even if they're not really like, because the people that is in my inner circle, of course, they're never going to get charged for nothing. That's my people. Yeah. So, what I'm saying? But there's people that were around the situation and stuff like that, or people that, just local rappers that are in the same markets, and it's like, you got to go from being... I don't know how to say it without sounding like a douchebag. Without, you got to... you got to understand, whenever we're working for platform. We're working for a platform. So whenever you get a platform and it's not big. I'm not trying to act like I'm not a superstar and shit. But it's a platform that people could eat off of. Yeah. It's a platform that is beneficial to people. Yeah. And it's like, I can't do it, for just everybody for free, because it just costs me money to go around and do this stuff and to go record verses. And I think everybody, the real people understand that. I think
it's turning more into a business thing.
Yeah, it's business.
You know what I'm saying? And when coming up, it was more just love. You know what I mean? It was like, we're gonna do this together. Yeah. But then when you start, somebody gonna get the ball, bro. Right. People gonna feel somebody. Yeah. And when that one person start rolling down that hill, it's only right for people to help push that up. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, at the end of the day, nigga, money make the world go round. We can do free shit all day, but you ain't gonna actually make a difference in nothing without money. And you know what I'm saying?
And so it's a balance you gotta find, man. You gotta find a way to. You gotta stay humble, but still.
You gotta look at
assert yourself. Exactly. This is if you're not investing in your brand as an artist, what are you doing? If you're not building, the way they put it to you is like, you gotta build the mystique. You gotta, if you don't look like you're a serious artist and you do this full time, they can approach you like they approach every other rapper on the street and just say, hey, come over and do the verse for me or whatever. then that's how they're gonna treat you. You're not gonna be worth nothing if you don't ever put a price on it. So that's been and it really hasn't been hard at all, but. Because I just don't like talking about it. Like, don't ask me how much the verse costs. Like, ask my manager, ask Justin how much it costs. Yeah. Like, I don't like to talk about money. Like, even with producers, like, I just want to talk about. Let's talk about the music. I'm trying to do the music, so like.
I think in simple terms, I know you don't want to say it, but you don't want to say like how I see it. Like, in a sense, there really is levels to this shit, and you're above the local level.
A little, not really, because I'm still but it's like
because you're.
What I say is I'm just where I think I'm at is like I'm a broader local artist. I'm a local artist that reaches different markets. Yeah. I don't want to say because outside of the local market is that's what I'm trying to capture now. Yeah. Like I feel like I've locked down the markets that I consider local. Like the markets that consider me a local artist. Yeah. They support, Lubbock, Odessa, and Dallas is catching on now. So it's like that's I still don't you don't want to say it's not there yet. I don't want to. It's not there yet. Yeah. It's still we're still building. So it's like,
you got a long way.
That's part of the building process is taking yourself. You got to remove yourself from everybody else. Yeah. Because if you look like everybody else, why would anybody pay you? Yeah. Why would anybody pay?
Even your image is
everything.
Like your image is clean. Like, and I say clean now because it's like. You've invested in your image too, and I don't mean like you're like, oh, I'm putting on different clothes just for fun. I'm like, you found yourself and you
gotta everything. You gotta be comfortable in yourself.
Yes,
man.
I mean everything you're transforming yourself into.
It's a product almost,
Yeah.
And not it's real and everything, but it's at the end. It is a business, and that's the biggest thing I've evolved into since Small Town USA. Everything since then has been the mindset of we got to break into the industry. We got to break. Like we fucking bullshitting. We've been bullshitting for fucking 10 years, making music and putting out all this free music and not promoting it and not going around and giving it to nobody. Not leaving the city. I'm in Lubbock. Or I'm in Odessa and I'm just here giving my music to the people, or maybe not even giving CDs out, but it's just online and I'm just sharing the link or whatever, and I'm putting the music video out and all my homeboys see it, all my friends that already know the music's cool, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's funny now, like everyone tells you you're dope, of course, when they see you or whatever, but like it took leaving and going with G and going to Houston, and once people saw you doing something else, then they have something to believe in, I guess. And then it's like, okay, you know what, he really is doing something, and it's like then that's whenever people become legitimate fans, and it's not just I listen to you because I know who you are. And that's been dope, man. That's why I tell everybody, man, like leave the city, man. Like you got to get out of your city if you want to. Exactly. Reach any kind of market, because people aren't going to love you back home until they see that people love you everywhere else. Yeah. Like once they see you,
and you would think it'd be the other way around, but that's just the way.
Sometimes you don't realize what you got either, and it's like, and I think artists, especially like myself, this is always the case. I think there's always an artist that is really good, who will not push himself, who won't promote himself, who won't invest in himself. He thinks that you're so good that someone's just going to come find you because you're the dopest rapper ever, and everyone tells you how dope you are. Yeah. And then there's the guy that's not that good a rapper. His music isn't as good as everyone else's, but he pushes it harder than everyone else. In every city, there's that person. Yeah. And not to take away from anybody or nothing like that, but every city, there's a person who just and sometimes the music does match up. Yeah. But like
I think there's somebody who's grind. Like they're working so hard that hard work turns into talent, really.
Right, and it's like
exactly
if you just do that part with the music, like that's all you need. Like if you grind the way that these guys grind, if you grind like you're making up for something, you grind like your music ain't that grind like your music sucks. Like push it like it, because the moment you think you're so good that everyone's just gonna listen to you, like that. I had to humble myself because there was a long time where I was just like, I'm better than everybody and I'm gonna diss everybody and all these rappers is whack and don't listen to nobody but who ain't me. It's like, man, the moment you start just showing love to people and just worrying about and crafting your music, that's the best thing. Like working, we worked with popularity over here, man. Look at him. Working with V12 and EQV Studios in Houston. These are the people that GT hooked me up with to do Dark Days. Like that's what developed like the style that I have right now that I've been pushing for Hereditary and Dark Days. Like they molded that from just like being like the way they told me when I came in there, I'm just rapping. And like if you heard any of my old stuff like Gramnesia, any of that stuff is, you know, just bar heavy and hip hop and it's rap and it's like, man. And
you know, don't get me wrong, that shit was dope. I mean, it is
tight.
Dope,
it's tight, but it's like who you're gonna sell that to.
Yeah.
And that's the mindset that it changed was like, okay, you can rap. Everybody knows you can rap, but can you make a record? Do you want to be the best rapper ever, or do you want to be successful in the music industry? And it's like, that's where you have to, you know, make a change.
Yeah.
And not make a change in like the content. I don't think I lost content, but I made a change in like, I'm gonna make music that's just good music. I'm not gonna worry about if it's super hip hop or if it's.
Is it almost like the way you approach a mixtape? Now, when you're thinking album, it's a much more different approach. That's when the hits come in. That's when, you know, like, that's when you got to wrap your head
like
around.
Like whenever it's a mixtape or if it's something free, that's when it's gonna be more of like the bar heavy and it's not maybe not a big hook, just rapping. Like we just did like this thing called Merciless 2.0 where it's me and him and it's just rapping, me rap, and then he right behind me rapping, and that's cool. That's cool for the free stuff, but you know what I'm saying. Whenever you gotta have. And I think you can still rap your ass off on a marketable record.
Oh yeah.
So if you can, that's what we've been trying to do is just find the balance between substance and marketable.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, Hereditary is like exactly what that was. The idea on that album is, first of all, was, you know, my dad is the kind of the striving thing about it is, you know, just kind of habits, hereditary habits, drinking and smoking, stuff like that aren't necessarily good things, I guess. But so that was kind of the idea I was going behind, and then I was like, I want to make the substance of that about my father and kind of low key about alcoholism and using drugs and using that as a coping mechanism, and put that into these party records and these marketable upbeat records. And like if you go listen to it, like everything on the album is pretty much is upbeat except for the very last song. That's the only thing that's really super serious.
Yeah.
But the content in the songs, like even though they sound like maybe a club record or, you know, whatever, the lyrics on them are about something real. So it's been cool trying to find the balance and seeing people's reaction. I think it's definitely the best work I've ever done. And I'm kind of excited to see what happens. The response has been pretty cool.
Anytime that you feel your growth, then you know you're on the right path. You know, I'm gonna cut you off there for a minute. You know, let's you know, I personally don't even know too much about HD Trilla. I've seen some videos, but I don't know his story. You know, so let's do a little.
Talk to him.
We'll get back to you a little bit because there's some stuff I want to ask you too. You know, HD Trilla, you know, are you born and raised in Lubbock, Texas?
Yeah, man, born and raised Lubbock, Texas, man.
You know, how long you been in the music game?
I've been rapping since I was like 15, but I ain't actually hit a professional record button until I met Kuntry. I was just pretty much writing music in my basement, not really knowing what to do. Had all the right equipment, dream, just lost artist, man. But really, man, shit, I met Kuntry and he kind of put me on some game and how to approach a real mixtape and how to make, you know, different albums and just not rapping like he's talking about like bars and shit. After that, I just kind of went on my own little lane and I started doing lots of shows, man. I've opened up Devin the Dude twice, Powwow, Slim Thug. I've worked with a lot of really good artists in Lubbock. Like
Lubbock got a lot of talent, you know. I check out, you know, all them ciphers that be dropping and everything. Cause
every
time there's a cipher, you know, I feel like it has different artists from the city. You know, it's like everyone decides. I mean, what I was saying is, every time I see, you know, a cipher drop from Lubbock, it's always a different circle. It's always a different set of artists. You know, and every time I look, there's more and more artists that keep popping up. You know, and everyone that I've checked out, like, there's a lot of talent there, you know. And I'll be honest, when I think Lubbock, like, I can't ever think of like one artist that's just like
really
like popular. That's the one, you know, that just comes to mind, you know. It's always just like, I always know that there's just a lot of talent there, you know. But no one like stands out more than the other. There's just talent there, you know. It's kind of like
it comes to that promotion deal. Kuntry was talking about, like, a lot of these fools got a lot of artists, you know what I'm saying? But they think Facebook when to get them there, or these local shows they do every Friday.
You know? Social media,
and that's all good love, and that's all great. You know, you're getting your little views up and stuff. But when it comes to, you know, building what the country's doing, it's different. You got to go into a marketing stage, like he said, and you got to actually have a product, have a promotion scheme, have an image. You know, you want to do shows where you're actually doing effects and shit. Like, make yourself look more professional.
Yeah.
And then you'll see people like you noticing you more than everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to take yourself out of stuff like that. And I was doing that for a little bit, man, but, you know, life hit me. And sometimes you got to put stuff to the side and get shit straight. You know what I'm saying? I'm barely getting back to this year, actually working on the album again and actually putting something solid out. Kuntry kind of helping me out, you know what I'm saying, doing these shows, getting me, you know, inspiration from the vibe from the shows, and being the hype man, really, you know, just getting me out there again, getting me comfortable and making shit happen again. But I took a break almost 2 years, and it's like the downfall, you know what I'm saying, because you take too long, you know, people forget, you know what I'm saying?
You know, but you know what?
On your way back right now.
You know, I'm on my way back too, but you know what I'm saying? Like, really, it's, you know, I don't see it as a downfall. It's more of...
It's the come up, man. It's
the come up, but too, what really defines anything we do in life is what we do about the situation that we go through.
Exactly.
You know, I don't know what situation you were going through, but if you think about it, if you can channel that whether it was pain, whether it was something, just anything, whatever it is you're going through, if you can channel that into the music, like that's like instant, you know, album material. You know,
definitely.
I think I made the best music going through those 2 years, because all the struggle and pain and hurt from our life and getting thrown, you know what I'm saying, all these curveballs and shit. So even though I wasn't, you know, in professional studios and shit, I think the best music I've ever wrote is in my, you know, my home studio.
You know, and don't think that, like, you know, this is where I feel like some artists think that, you know, like that whole professional studio, like they think it always got to be a building. Sometimes even like your home studio, if you learned enough to sound like these big guys, you know, professionally really ain't at the game. It's out the game. It's basically just like, you know, the music you would make then, it would just basically be like as if you were recording with someone big art. You just basically made your sound, and you made it sound like the way it should be. You know, that's what it comes down to. Like what Kuntry was saying is like artists is literally strictly just invest. They need to invest in themselves. And that's part of it too. You know. Yeah.
Well, when I say professional studio, it's not really professional. You know, it's a homeboy crib, and they got you know, they invest in booths and shit. These studios look legit, you know what I mean? But what I'm paying for is the engineer. You know, I'm paying for the
if you're paying, a lot of times you're not paying for the maybe not the equipment all the time. Like if even like on the album, like we recorded in 3 different spots, and we all got to mix at the same spot. You can't tell no difference between the records, but the reason I want to go to a certain spot is because the engineer and the producer and, like, you know, the way that they produce the record. If it's an actual producer, even if you didn't make the beat, they're producing the record. They're giving you input. They're, you know, helping you say things. Are being like, I like people who are fucking real up forward. Like, tell yo, nah, that's not dope. Do that again. write that over. Like, nah, that's not what's up.
That's where you really want to be, you know. I mean, you know, even when it comes to when I was recording you, if I felt something didn't sound right, you know, I was going to speak up. You know,
you should always be that way. But that's the thing. Like, but even a lot of times, the best stuff you can do too, though, can come from just you sitting in your bedroom with a microphone. Yeah. Because there's a lot of things sometimes that you can try by yourself that you don't want to try in a crowd full of people. And like all the studios that I go to are very active. So it's like motherfucking 4 or 5 people in there every time at minimum. So it's like sometimes you don't want to try to sing for the first time. Or, you know, try to hit a high note or something for the first time, and there's 4 guys and 4 dudes smoking weed in the front room looking at you. Like, so sometimes it's better to, or if you got like some of the personal stuff that you want to rap about, you know, it's hard to rap about a lot of this stuff in front of people, or you know, especially for, you know, guys where we come from, you know, it's
that's
like,
the one thing
you want to be, you can't be too vulnerable sometimes. It's hard to be, not that you can't, it's hard to be vulnerable sometimes, especially whenever you need to have a certain feeling for a record or something like that, and you need it to be emotional. It's hard to channel that. You got so many people around you, so it's good music can come from, you know, RCA mic and karaoke machine. It's just it's just about what you do with it.
Exactly. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, we're all a product of a poor man's studio, you know. And even that poor man's studio that we may have had at the time, you know, if we pushed it to the limit, we can hang with these guys, you know.
Man, we used to record on the blue, the Snowball. Y'all heard of Snowball, the USB mic?
Yeah.
A ball like this big.
Shit, I just barely, I barely get to the level where I'm understanding like more of the importance of what to look for in a mic, or you know. And I'm like, you know what, like I'm gonna take that leap and invest. I don't care if it costs a little more.
I've been leaning to. I was hard on the blue, the baby bottle blue mics. I was on that, but I think I know a lot of engineers now, so it's like they all tell me AKG is like the way to go. Like,
yes, that's depending on which mic they're talking about.
Everyone, the two I know, they got the exact same mic, and it's like
you know which ones you should just kind of like even research just to see how you could get even more better sound sometimes, you know. But there might be some AKG mics that are pretty similar because, you know, price ranges and whatnot. You know, I actually invested in a Newman.
or
Neumann. I'm not sure how you say it. One of the two, you know.
One of the engineers I mess with, man's name's D. Wayne. He's actually from Midland.
Yeah, I remember.
He's a rapper. He's an engineer.
He's in San Antonio or Dallas now.
He's in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
I recorded some records.
Because Nick D's starting to record over there, right?
Right, yeah. I actually got them connected to do that. Nick D is dope. But D. Wayne's super dope too, actually. But
see, I remember him dropping shit and putting videos out and shit. He was always dope.
He had that Lost and Living Life. That's still on DatPiff, like D. Wayne, Lost and Living Life. You ain't got to go get that, because that's like for me out of Midland, Odessa, the best project that's ever come out of Midland, Odessa was Mr. Odessa by Mini Mac. Like, hands down. Like, there isn't a person in my age range that can say they came from here and wasn't influenced by Mr. Odessa, Mini Mac. That album is just crazy. And there's, if you listen to my music, there, Mini Mac, there's all kinds of cues I've taken from Mini Mac.
Have you ever collaborated? Because I don't.
We've done like one record a long time ago, maybe 2. We really haven't done a lot of work together at all. We've worked together twice, but it was really dope because he works the same way I work. I work real fast, so it's like I
got to shoot 2 videos for his clique or whatever, Hollywood or whatever. And I've seen them in the studio or even just when I'm doing their video or whatever. Like I mean, they're about the business, you know. They
cool dudes, man.
They work, you know. And
all them boys cool bled. All them boys, man.
You know, funny thing, I don't know if you remember, but before all the album, before all that, all the Smack-A-Hoes and the CDs, the mixtapes they used to drop and everything. I don't know how it happened, but I got my hands on a lot of those, and I heard a bunch of this, and I was like, whoa.
The first Mini Mac joint I heard was like Mike, and I think he recorded that when he was like in high school.
Yeah. A lot of the stuff he did was in high school.
So like that's the first I'd heard him. But like But not D-Wayne, know what I'm saying? He uses...
Was he part of Hustle Up? Or no?
He was, yeah, so he was like the hype man for Hustle Up.
Okay.
But him and Minnie Mac, man, those are probably the best two projects I've heard come out of the cities. And the Hustle Up's album was really dope. I need to get my hands on that album. That album was dope, man. He had this, because Mark Q was such a cool producer. He had this song with CP, who's his name, Corey Portal.
Hell of a man.
Oh man, they had a song with him. That shit was dope, man. Oh man, that was like the first wave of CDs that I saw like really packaged. I didn't even know that was even possible, you know, like we was like writing our names on CDs and it's like putting them in the paper sleeves, trying to write it the dopest you could on there. So even though it was written, they're like, it's graffiti though. You see how it's got the cursive on it? Or we used to get the little tags that you could print out, the label, and you could just tape it on each one of the CDs.
I think the first ever CDs I ever made were either they were like Light Scribe, where it's like a laser, it's etched.
We finally bought one like that.
You could stamp them,
or even the
tape.
I used to put my own stickers on them.
Oh man, we used to. My first like real big solo, well not big, but my first real solo mixtape I did called Hot Times. Whenever we cut out the CD covers, because I made this, we got the CD cover made by a dude named Tay D. We took them hoes to like FedEx and like cut them out on like the cardboard paper. Was sitting there with the, they had the big ass little chopper. Me and my cousins there like chopping CDs, trying to make them fit into the jewel cases. And like you couldn't get it perfectly lined up, so there's like this little white sliver where it was like offset a little bit. Like man,
I think it was a blessing whenever I was introduced to Kunaki.
Kunaki's the truth, man. Yes. You can get my whole catalog on Kunaki right now. Like you can go order it like without even my input on it. Like you can just go to the website and order my album.
Yeah. Like the first time Like I'll be honest, my first CD was like there was a couple songs that I dug, and then the other ones I'm like I hear now I'm like I sucked, But I think you're your own worst critic too. But you gotta start somewhere too, Exactly. But when I held that first CD, in fact I was like 300 CDs thinking I'm gonna flip them like hotcakes,
I remember the case.
That didn't happen. But you know what? That shit look beautiful and it's shrink wrap and everything. Barcode.
Until recently, the only time I ever really made some cake off a CD was when I was in high school.
Hell yeah!
And I put out a mixtape with there was a dude named Mr. Manish and like Azarati, they're called like Raw Business, and it was me and Jesse with SOS. So we did a mixtape with them and just went and like sold it through school. Like I swear, like I made like $200, which like is not a lot, but like in fucking high school for these fucking written on CDs, like we were like in here slanging them, making like 200. Like I swear that's like the most I made off of CDs until like 2 years ago. Like until like recently.
Could you imagine if you knew something like Kunaki at the time, man? Like you'd be boss at the school, flipping them things, Teacher might even buy some shit.
We was working, man. We were working over at Permian trying to dip and dodge, man. Mm-hmm. I went to so many high schools, it's crazy. That's why it's like when you're saying like you're going to introduce me, it's like where should I say you're from? Because I done lived in every damn.
See, like when I know you moved away, but I keep forgetting that you you're not born and raised here. You weren't born and raised here, but you were. You moved here at one point.
People keep on asking me about the site, Zainab and Bill and them doing the 806 ciphers for Lubbock, and they're like, why don't they put you on the cipher? Like, I'm not from Lubbock. I'm like, oh, you're not from Lubbock? Nah, man, I'm not from Lubbock. Or they're like, same thing with it's funny, like they'll make, there's this thing where, whenever a top 5 list come out for like Vibe or something, everybody makes their top 5 list on Facebook and shit. Yeah. And like, it's like I got niggas from Lubbock putting me in their top 5 from Lubbock, and then they got dudes in Odessa, and I'm on the top 5 for Odessa. I'm like, I'm top 5 in everybody's city. I'm out here now. But I was like, man, it's just funny to impact my knowledge. I might have been like top 20 or something. Yeah. But it was just cool to like see that's what I was saying though. Like I'm able to to play within the local market of a couple of different cities, which is super cool.
I mean, to me, no matter where you're at, you make noise wherever you go.
That's the best way to be, man. Just working with everybody. And I just started working with this dude named Crush out of New Mexico, which is super cool. Like, I love New Mexico because when we went there.
Well, obviously, if E-Craze is watching this,
he doesn't like
New Mexico.
I haven't probed him on that. He was drunk last night and telling me about it.
You missed the whole thing. He wasn't friendly drunk last night.
He was aggressive drunk. I wasn't trying to he was aggressive drunk to where he's not trying to fight you, but he's just really touchy.
Yeah.
He won't touch you when we talk to you. I'm like, alright, man, I gotta go home. You're touching me too much.
The funny thing is, I don't want to steer off too much, but what it all came down to why I really hate New Mexico.
E-Craze got a whole
because he visited McDonald's and it was a bad experience because there was Indian. He tried to speak Spanish to Indian people and they got offended.
That is the fattest thing I've ever heard. You hate a whole state over McDonald's.
Exactly.
E-Craze, fat as shit.
I mean, I could understand if every time I order chicken nuggets, a 10-piece, they give me fucking 8-piece. I could maybe understand that, right. But it wasn't nowhere near that.
New Mexico's on my list as dope because they sell fucking liquor in Walmart and at the gas station. You can go buy a bottle of Crown for $15 in Walmart.
Everyday low price.
Yes, I was like, this. I would fucking die. My liver would not make it if I lived in there. You can go to Stripes and buy a bottle of liquor.
Oh wow!
They have this little case. On the side, and just all these little bottles and eighths of liquor, and they sell it till 12 a.m.
Man,
I was like, man, New Mexico.
I love it, man. Look, ain't a dry county, is it?
Not no more. It used to be. What happened to the Strip? Is the Strip still?
Nah, it's still there, but they ain't open. I think there's something else, something in there.
It's funny because they used to be dry, and they had this whole little Las Vegas Strip where you could go and buy your liquor and stuff, and it was lights. And
was it slightly out of the county?
Yeah, right outside the county. And it's got these big old signs.
Yeah.
As soon as the county went wet, boy, lights out.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
They go down the street to get my beer.
Dang.
God, man, that's why I made that song County Line, and it's nobody unless you was from a small town knew what I was talking about.
I don't know, but then
you know about driving for the county line, go get a beer because you're in a dry county.
Yeah.
Clyde, Texas, even where I'm from ain't a dry county no more. I don't even know if there's any more dry counties.
See, what they should have realized a long time ago is that shit brings in money.
And it stops a lot of driving.
Exactly.
I mean, drunk driving.
You drunk talking.
Yeah. No, for real though. Man, people be fucked up, man, at 1 o'clock on a Saturday trying to grab some more beer and shit. And then you had to drive all the way across town. Nigga, that shit was horrible, dog.
Now, you mentioned you was working on are you working on an album right now?
Yeah. I got about 4 or 5 tracks done on a album that I'm working on. I got a couple names for it, but I ain't really put it into into a really solid motion like that. But I got a country on a couple features, but mostly just solo. I'm gonna do a lot of solo on this one.
That's what's up, man. I can really respect that. I should be like that, honestly.
Right.
But I love to work with so many people that sometimes it just organically happens. And
right.
My shit doesn't sound like a compilation sometimes,
right.
But this album that I'm working on now, they'll already have a lot of features.
I think so.
I want to do more where I do some solo shit because I want to be like, TroubleSome can hold his own and shit,
That's why I ain't got really no features on.
But see, you've always been like that. You ain't never really needed features.
But I always had a lot of features though, man. If you go look, if you,
yeah,
I always have well, the last thing I did have a lot of features on was Small Town. And then that's cool for listening to, but if you go listen to that album, if you find me something that I can perform to just people who don't know me or don't know the story, because that's cool if you know my story and shit. They're like, oh, that's tight what you're talking about. But trying to get a room full of drunk people to listen to anything off that album live was ridiculous. So, and then the next thing I did is a collaboration album with G. So if G ain't with me, I can only perform one verse. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's how this album, Hereditary. I was like, man, I gotta make something I can perform. Like I can actually perform 2 verses or something. Like
now, it's kind of like what I do. Unfortunately, when I perform, like I feel like I do a medley sometimes and shit.
Yeah,
if I don't have my people there, you know. But I kind of like it in a sense sometimes, you know. But sometimes I wish I could just be like, let me do full songs, and that'd be dope.
I think I blocked off so hard from just doing because only features I was doing was like G and them. Like it wasn't nothing crazy, but I backed off so hard to like people are offended and shit that I haven't done
a song.
It's like it's crazy to me. It's like people are offended that I ain't done songs with them in the last 3 years, and they hadn't done songs with me in a long time. And then like as soon as something starts popping, it's like I owe everybody something, and it's weird, man. It's weird how people act. It's like people who I thought was supposed to be like my best friends and shit. Like they're supposed to be like my brothers and shit. The 2 main, not that I ain't gonna put numbers, but the main motherfuckers who like act like that are people that, you know what I'm saying, I starve with these people. You know what I mean? And they don't even like you don't talk to me. Over some music, like, or even over dumber stuff than music.
You ever think that maybe it's just jealousy on their part?
I hope it's not. I don't ever want to say that because it's not. I don't feel like I have nothing for anyone to be jealous of, so I would never say any man's jealous. But I do think that. I just think that. I can't. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't want to say nobody's jealous because everyone's got.
It's kind of like envy, man.
I don't want to say that.
I think what it is like perception is reality. So what they see may not be what you necessarily.
I think
like
sometimes
they think you're.
I think sometimes whenever when something happens,
because I don't know the situation.
I think everyone's guilty of this. Sometimes when something happens, you forget that. You know. You forget that there was a time that you could have helped people when you didn't help them.
Exactly.
And as soon as. You know, it looks like, oh, this guy's not helping me. He's my friend. You know, we forget about that, and I'm guilty of it too. We're all guilty of it. I think we forget things sometimes. We forget how we acted, and we can only see how someone's acting towards us.
Yeah,
and, you know what I'm saying. We forget everything because we've all done something wrong to somebody.
Yeah.
We forget all of that, and we get our feelings hurt, and it's like, oh, you know, he didn't do this thing for me, or you know, he didn't. And I don't know, man. It's weird. It's weird. It's a weird situation. I didn't think I'd ever be in that situation where it's like people don't talk to me. I'm not the kind of person that stays in contact with people every day anyway. Like me and Trilla don't just talk on every. And that's what
me and you don't really talk like I think. Remember that one day I hit you up? It was like fucking. I think we were. We were talking about out of all things wrestling. I think it's.
Oh yeah, he was randomly me up about pay-per-view.
Yeah, we talking about pay-per-view. Like I know, like I just hit him up out of nowhere. That's just the kind of.
I'm just not. I don't contact people every single day. It's not person I am. Even like my whole family, I don't talk to my mama every day. Yeah. So it's like, I guess people take it. No one gave a damn what I didn't hit them up before all this. Like, before I started, like, no one gave a fuck if I didn't call them. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, you in town with friends again? And I was like, what, man? What's that mean, dog? Like, shit, that's how it's always been. I get to town, I hit you up. Like, what am I hit you up in Houston for? You ain't out there.
Like, I don't know. I see, like, you always know who your real people is. And
then I think also I think people are a little misguided on what my situation is. Like, nigga, I'm not fucking.
Well, they're not in your situation. They're just making assumptions.
I'm not Lil Wayne, nigga. Like, what you want me to do, bro? I can't sign you. Like, I think a lot of people think I've got the keys to some shit that I don't got yet. Like, I'm working on it. Give me some time, B. I'm trying to get the keys, man. Like, I'm in the passenger seat. Like. So it's like, I don't doubt it. I mean, I don't blame nobody for that because, you know, it's, you know, it's supposed to be that way, but it's like, I think it's cool. It's cool whenever people are fans of it and you're like, oh, you moving. It's not as cool when people are like, why ain't you putting me on? Mm-hmm. Why ain't you doing this record for me? Why can't you give me a verse from GT for this much? Or like, you know, it's like, man, who you think I am, bro? Like, me and G cool, but God, like he ain't cutting no deals. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Like to me, the way that I see it, like you should be happy for your people and not really expect anything in return. Like when I see you, like even though you're still in the early midst of your situation, you know, and it's a blessing still and an opportunity. Like, I'm happy for you because you're being successful. You're on the road to the success that you envision for yourself, you know.
And that the people that feel that, and I appreciate that too. I don't want you to think I don't, but I think that outweighs the people who feel the other way. There's more, exponentially more people who are happy for me and who are willing to do whatever for me just off the strength of the belief in what I can do. You know, Trilla's one of them people. Like, there's countless people like Nuno and people from Lubbock who just, you know, anything I need to crash on somebody's couch and be picked up, and they don't ask for nothing out of me. You know what I mean? And when they could, you know what I mean? When people could take advantage of a situation, and it's like there's far more people who are willing to help me and be really cool about the situation because they want to see me succeed and not ask for nothing out of it. But it's just strange to me that the ones that aren't cool are like the motherfuckers that's supposed to be like the niggas that you think would be the most understanding. And a lot of times it's not the situation. Like, you would think the niggas that...
One thing I've learned in life is the ones you didn't think were really had your back, got your back. It's like it's like surprises sometimes. It's like I was like, man, I didn't know like we was like that cool. Like you really got me like that, you know. Like
and that's kind of like that between me and Trill. Like we met through somebody else. You know what I'm saying? He was friends. We were friends with the same friend, and I mean we were both still extremely cool. Him to Prestige, that's my little brother. But it's like I would have never thought me and HD like would be as close as we are. That's like my.
We didn't even talk the first time we met. We just kind of walked by each other, and we was in the same room for like a couple hours and shit. Like they didn't even speak to each other.
Chilling my road dog, man. That's
I think the most unexpected situations and the most unexpected people are the ones we end up having in crazy relationships sometimes. With, like that we like y'all. And people like no matter what happens, y'all.
Yeah.
People like Trill, man, he keep a good balance for me, man, because he got a lot of experiences that I don't have and stuff like that. So it's like a lot of like the street stuff he's more in tune with than I had. Like, you know, I ain't never been no street nigga or no shit like that, a street dude. Like, so it's cool to have that knowledge around you.
Yeah.
Because you need that knowledge around you too. Sometimes you know you gotta know how to
make a lot of mistakes in these streets. Yeah, you gotta
know how to move smart in all situations. So that's always been like he's younger than me a little bit, but he's like.
But see, also I feel like
kind of big brother-ish.
You could translate some of your knowledge into business too. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So that's always a good thing.
We try to share knowledge with each other of anything that we can. So it's
we definitely grow off each other, man. You know what I'm saying?
So he's always been one of my favorite artists. I've always put that out there. Like I still feel like he probably the dopest rapper, like pure rapper in Lubbock. I don't think there's a lot of people fucking with him, but
we need to see more music than
I got some shit on my sleeve, man.
Maybe make a visit here and there. You're only 2 hours away.
Oh,
man,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, man.
No, I'm definitely back, man.
I've been taking them with me so sometime, man. Get your exposure in a couple of these different markets. We went out to Abilene. He went with me to do the show with Charlie Boy and them. So you know that was a good look with the Bad Business music group, I think.
And I will say, man, the name's original. It's dope, man. Like I mean,
good name, man.
You know, it's one of the things I feel like you ain't even gotta look, research to see if anybody got a name like that because it's like it's that original, you know. And I'm like, cool, you know, hell yeah, I remember that, you know. Hey, shouldn't be no other HD Trilla because that's you know that's two words that go good together, but no one probably ain't thought about that till you thought about it, you know.
Said, yeah, baby, that's the one.
That's the one. Yeah, man. It's actually that name actually came accidentally, really, because my street name Big Happy. Like this OG nigga gave me that when I was like 13, and all my friends made fun of me. You know what I'm saying? And they used that, and before you know it, all the kids at school calling me Big Happy people. I don't even know. So it was always Hap my whole life. And then whenever I Googled, I was putting my rap name, making videos and shit, and I was Googling Big Happy, and there's like 4 or 5 Big Happies, nigga, and they all from different cities. And so I was like, I got to put something different together, and I wanted to keep Hap, and I put Hap Daddy was my name after that, and that's how I got the HD, and then everybody was like, man, I ain't gonna call you Hap Daddy, nigga. Like, I don't care how cool you are, I don't care how much you record that feature, nigga. I ain't gonna hit you over with that Hap Daddy, nigga. So I was like, well, shit, man. I was like, just keep it HD, and then people were like, and then I started putting It's Trilla in my songs, and then my nigga Frankie Mendez, man, and his street made it in Timmy, and he's like, hey, that's Trilla, dog. He's like, that's it right there, HD Trilla. And then before you know it, it just rolled from there. And
that's just crazy. You know what I was gonna assume the name kind of meant, you know, like you high def, like high definition.
That's where it's at now. Yeah, that's where it's at now, because nobody will say Hap Daddy, so they'll be like high def, but that's where HD had came from originally, but now it's more high def, bro, because ain't nobody even know about Hap Daddy. You know what I'm saying? Like when people, like just like you said, I don't say Hap Daddy, so when I say HD, when I leave here, you know, everybody gonna be like, nigga, that's
even when you say that name, you know what I think? I was like, what, you used to be a pimp? I sound like a pimp man, you know?
You know what I'm saying?
The joint's gonna cut off over there too. Okay, cool, man. I've been working on some different stuff.
Yeah, let's get into that. What are you working on right now?
Well, we just finished Hereditary. That's out right now.
That actually dropped the 21st, right?
Yeah, that dropped last weekend. So
where can we get that?
At any digital outlet, you know, Apple, Google Play, Tidal. It's up on YouTube if you don't want to pay for it. It's on YouTube.
Any
Spotify, all that good
Any physical copies?
Physical copies. You can go to Kunaki and get my whole.
Oh yeah, that's right, Kunaki.
You can get my whole catalog from Kunaki. It's Kuntry DeLaRosa. Since then, man, I just been recording, trying to just have stuff ready for the next shit, because it's like the way G likes us to work is like every 3 months we should have something. Like every 3 months you should have something ready to go. So we've been trying to keep up with that mantra. So it was like Dark Days, and then boom, boom, boom.
And when you say something, like you're talking about full project almost?
Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
So we did Dark Days in December.
That's dope. It's crazy though, but people don't realize that like you're doing it full time, so that's actually kind of like it's doable, you know. Like
yeah, I mean, even if you're not doing it full time, it's doable because for me, because I work fast though. Like I don't take.
Yeah, I guess. And see, I
don't like to pre-write stuff, so like I like to write it right there and do it.
See, like I don't know.
I work more off inspiration than just.
I think when I was working with you and then when I was working on my music, I could do that. What we were doing, you know, we'd sit there and write whatever, and I was fast at that. But now, like, I guess I'm my own worst critic, and I'm just like in my head, I'm like, man, that the quality of my lyrics has to be dope too, you know, everything. So like, I overthink it, you know.
And that's what I got out of.
That's the problem.
That's what I finally got out of. Is like where you can just you make it. And if there's something you can change on the back end, maybe you can do it. And what's better now, though, is before things come out, I have like 12 people who all give me input on it. So it's like if there's really something glaringly bad about a record, out of those 12 people, I should get some kind of consensus that this isn't right. Do you
ever, nowadays, are you ever recording more than what you drop on a project?
Oh yeah,
like saying like, you know,
definitely
this didn't make the cut, you know. So.
Dark Days was the first project that happened to me where I cut songs. We recorded more than we needed, or even not. We didn't even know what we needed. We like to kind of put a number on it whenever we're getting ready to drop something, but like I think like 3 records got cut from Dark Days. 2 or 3 records, and then
did any of those kind of like borderline like they could have made it, you know, but we're something.
One, it was like it just wasn't a really strong. It was cool. Sometimes a record. I mean, maybe at some point it comes out. It just needed a tweak, and we were kind of getting in the crunch time. So the record with me and G, I think it was called "I'm Sorry" or something like that. It got cut because it was supposed to be like a real emotional record, and we just weren't able to channel that. We didn't have the time to really put into it to make it like it was supposed to. And then we had another record that was called Down For You with a chick called, I can't even remember what shorty's name is right now. But V12 kind of got a singer to sing on it. And a dude named Two Face produced it. And it was like a kind of more R&B record. And we're going to put that out, but they actually they actually sent it out to just Britney too, the same beat. So we kind of, it was limbo on that to kind of see what happens, because obviously if she likes the record, you know, it's gonna go to her because she's got the big platform, and I'd be alright with that too. So I was like, man, if she want the record, man, send her that hook, because that hook's dope. I just want some writing credits, man. Just let me get that publishing check.
Yeah,
you can have the record. So that one didn't come out, and then so that one's we're still kind of sitting on. And then this time around, I had 2 joints that were produced by West OG that were intended for the record, and one of them we just put out as a single just because the sound was just so different from what the record was. It's on iTunes actually. The single called "Welcome Back." It's produced by him. It was mixed by Rick Allen in Dallas, and recorded, engineered by D. Wayne in Fort Worth. It was a cool record. It just didn't fit the vibe. It was more like old school Cadillac music, and it just didn't go with what we were doing. And then I had another record. It was actually the first record we recorded for the project, but it was just a feature fell through, and I just didn't want to just cut the record in half or just throw a half-ass verse on it, so we just left it out. That one's probably will come out later on something else. So
that's what's up, though. At least that there's you're still picking and choosing it rather than just dropping everything that you did before, you know, because
that's better that way.
When we first do it, I'm pretty sure when we first were doing it, we probably would just put it on the album or something.
That's how, I mean, like, Small Town USA, like, 2 weeks before, a week before it dropped, I did the last song. And it was like, we keeping everything, because this makes 10 songs. So if you don't have anything less, it's not even a real album. It's an EP. So like, alright, we just put it out. I used to, man, it's different now, man. Like, I think I wrote more back in the day, so I could have like 17 songs on a record or something. Like, I don't just write to write no more. Like, it has to be for something.
Yeah.
But it's been cool, man. Like, after that, we started, as soon as Hereditary dropped, like, I came to Lubbock, and I was in Lubbock for probably like a month and working with 2 engineers over there, just recording. So it's like, it's just working on my songwriting, and that's I think that's a big thing, because I think that's something I want to divulge into too, is writing songs for people and stuff like that. So I've been doing some, you know, not rap records with the producer named Josh Stone. We've been doing like some pop records and things like that to kind of shop around.
I can actually see that, you know, you're doing that.
So we've been.
You're versatile with your writing.
We came from, I came from a background that wasn't rap until I was like 12. You know, I didn't even listen to rap. I came up listening to like Stevie Ray Vaughan and shit like that from my dad, and like, I'm from the city I'm from. We didn't have a rap station. You know, Clyde, Texas. We had a top 40 pop station, and we had a country station when I lived there. So it's like, only thing I heard. Think about this is like 90s, I born in 88, so 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. See, like, probably from like 97 to like 2001 is like the years that I was really paying attention to music, and it's like top 40 radio at that time was like Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Eminem, of course. He was like one of the only rappers that like broke through to that area, but it was like Savage Garden and Oasis, so it's like a lot of like Darius Rucker, was it Hootie and the Blowfish, Creed and things like that. So it's a lot of that country music, Garth Brooks. And
would you say that kind of help you fall into that unorthodox and create?
I think so, because
you created your own lane, really.
I think so, because I wanted to do that before I wanted to rap. I wanted to sing, like that before I wanted to rap. I just couldn't sing very well. So it's like, not as well as I needed to sing to do that kind of shit. So that was kind of like, it's always since I was like 5, I wanted to be on stage. I didn't know what kind of music I was going to be doing up there, but I knew I wanted to be doing music and I wanted to be singing. So it was like, I wanted to be Stevie Ray Vaughan when I was 5. I used to wear a vest every day because I watched Live from Austin City Limits, and he wears like a vest on there. So I'm like in a vest and like super inappropriate times. So, but like we did it like that, and then when I get older, it's like Backstreet Boys and shit like that were really popular. So I was like a big Backstreet Boys fan. And anything like '90s pop, Oasis and shit like that. Savage Garden. What's the people's name? Dang, I can't even think of their name. They sing that Kryptonite song. 3 Doors Down.
Yeah, 3 Doors Down.
Yeah, I was down with them. You know what I'm saying? Santana had all the little pop songs out during that time, so it was like that was the main thing. I think the first rap I really was introduced to was like Tupac in like '96. Like it might have been like '97. The first Tupac shit I got shown was like the scariest shit I ever heard in my life. It was like the Are You Still Down album. Yeah. And they did a lot of like the Screwed Boy shit on that. Yeah. So that shit was like my boy Poppy showed me the damn that. So that was like the first rap, and it was like, oh god, this shit's scary. And then like MC Hammer, MC Hammer, and then a dude named Matthew Eccles in Clyde, Texas gave me a VHS tape of Bone Thugs and Harmony videos. Oh shit! Fuck my whole life up. Yeah. So it was like VHS of Bone Thugs and Harmony, like 3 Bone Thugs and Harmony CDs. He gave me like 2 Insane Clown Posse CDs. And so it's like white guy rap is what he gave me. So he's like, so that's like the kind of stepping stones. And then Nelly popped off in like 2000. Like that's the first like rapper I can remember being like, oh shit. Like, and people like flip out because I'm like, Nelly's like, that was like who made me want to be a rapper is Nelly.
That's just crazy.
God, Nelly, like the Nelly. Yeah,
but that's
Nelly,
dope, man. At least you have that kind of story where it's not like you're just saying like, because a lot of people, I don't know if you noticed, a lot of people will just say, well, Pac and Biggie are the ones that got me. Like they didn't get me. I mean, I love Pac and Biggie, but
it was like for
I'm
us,
not gonna be cliche for
that. It was like Nelly and then Chamillionaire.
See, mine was truly Bone Thugs and Harmony. Like
Bone too, like Bone, like Nelly and Chameleon, Nelly and Bone. I like so much because it was just so I liked singing first, so it was like close to that. Yeah, the person who made me want to rap and like get bars off was Chameleon. Like Chameleon was like he was spitting.
I think my first like freestyle where I was like, this is where I'm gonna freestyle nigga until I get good, and I sucked when I first started. But was that Lil Jon Crunk Juice CD, dog? Whenever he put that, when I first put that on, I was probably like 15, 14, and his beats, and I heard Pitbull for the first time, and I was like, dude, I want to be that dude, dog.
Pitbull and Daddy Yankee was on that in the club remix or something like that. Yeah. And boys got on that. I don't know what they were saying because I don't speak Spanish. Huh. Like, well, not they Spanish. They speak like Puerto Rican, Cuban Spanish. But they went hard. Back when Pitbull was still rapping, man. Pitbull the truth. I be trying to tell people, man, that's the dream. I want Pitbull money. Yeah, that man's got a lottery ticket. Yeah, he's on a lottery ticket. That's when you making bread.
And let me ask both of you guys: who's bigger? Pitbull or Flow Rider, because they both on that same level to me. But it's a matter
I think Pitbull's had more records. Yeah.
Do you think it's more because the bilingual? You think that kind of helps him more?
Any major artist goes to Pitbull for international.
Yeah, like you want an international.
You know what I mean? Like if you want an international hit, Pitbull's on the feature.
Flow Rider started too. Like the Flow Rider's another cat that I listened to him before he came out. He had on one of DJ Khaled's first records. He had a verse on there, and he was like, sound like some Bone Thug stuff. His album came out, I was like, oh, this is not what I expected. I didn't expect like the 360-degree pop turn. Yeah, it was cool though. But I really enjoy pop music though. That's what and then he puts me outside of peers. Like I love pop music, so it's like I can be open to stuff like that.
That's good though, because I think that keeps your originality too, without having to. Me and Nick were talking about it on his episode where like I feel like he made a good point. Like the more he listens to more rap, that could easily influence his style sometimes. And it's not necessarily biting, but sometimes it may look that way, especially if you just sound like that shit all the time,
That's why, like, when I'm working on a record and I'm really, like, trying to build a project, I don't listen to nobody's project that drops, like, when a new project drops. So, like, I was behind before I read it, like, on everything that it dropped, because I tried not to listen to anything new that's coming out, because you know sometimes you do subconsciously take somebody's melody or something like that, and it's like you know
what helped me to make sure that I don't be listening to new shit. I cut out my Sirius, just XM radio.
It's like I don't listen to radio no more.
Because you the shit that they dropped, like that shit, like they could have dropped it last week and they put on Shade 45 or whatever the case may be, and I'm like,
ready to go. Nah, I think, man, I find myself listening to things that aren't rap more often than I'm listening to rap, unless it's like an album, because I love listening to albums like front to back. So like I don't do like the Pandoras and the like when we play. I hate just random songs playing. I want to hear an artist. I want to hear the album.
You know what I miss hearing?
Front to back.
When you're speaking into albums, and to me, like the real albums that I miss hearing and people do is let's take it back to like Snoop Dogg and Warren G and all them, where they had those skits. You know,
skits that actually made sense to the records.
It was a full on
like a movie.
It's an experience, man. It's a little different now, man.
You know, I've done that on one of my albums, but
I think I find a lot of inspiration in music out. I think all music can be inspirational.
Yeah.
So if you can find an outlet for like me, like I love watching documentaries or listening to a classic album that I know is a classic album that made an impact, and you listen to it front to back, and it gets you want to make something like that. Like I just what's this called? You know who John Cocker is?
I actually don't.
I just watched a documentary on this dude, and you ever seen The Wonder Years?
Yes.
He sang the opening song to that, which is like a Beatles cover. That "What would you do if I sang out of tune?" But like it's just super dope. You know, like God, like it's the way his voice, everything is like he's a perfect example of a cat who had like he's first like a British dude, but he like sings like the soulful, gruffly voice, and he's taking these Beatles songs that are like they're like English pop. Songs, and like he took that song and made it into like a soul song. But it's cool to have those influences of people who take things and make them their own, and take different styles of stuff and make it, because especially blues, like every form of music comes from the blues. As far as American music, like it's rap, it's rock and roll, country. It all comes from the blues, so that's the base I had. Was the first music I remember ever listening to was Stevie Ray Vaughan, and it's probably the best blues guitarist of all time. So it's like not only am I listening to the bass music, I'm listening to the person who probably does it better than anybody else who's ever done it. So it's like you got that, and then country, love country music. So it's like I have George Strait and like 90s country, Garth Brooks and Hank Williams and stuff like that. Now, like my favorite songwriter, I have two favorite songwriters, and neither one of them are rap. You know what I mean? So it's like Ed Sheeran is probably like the best pop songwriter out.
Yeah,
he's dope. I knew he was dope.
Now he's actually doing like his own music too now.
Yeah, it's like
right?
pop songs.
Yeah,
really good pop songs. Like what's that song? When your eyes don't work like they used to, that's him. But he did that. I knew he was dope because he made me like a Justin Bieber record.
Yeah,
like he wrote a Justin Bieber record that I like, and nothing against Justin Bieber, but he doesn't make music for me.
Yeah.
So like, was that song that my mama don't like you? Ed Sheeran wrote that for him. So I'm like, that's dope. Chris Stapleton. I don't know if you're into country music.
When it comes to a lot of genres of music, I'll listen to them, but I'm bad about keeping names.
Chris Stapleton's kind of fairly new as an artist, but he's been writing music for a long time. He's like my second favorite songwriter. If you listen to country music, there's that one song by like I think Josh Gordon, that baby lock the door and turn the lights on. He was real deep. Chris Stapleton wrote that, so it's like it's cool. I'm into that part, that aspect. Like people,
that's dope though. I mean, you're appreciating music in its entirety, from the writing process to production to
I'm obsessed with
genres,
that. I'm obsessed with that end of it right now, of like the creative process and like the behind the scenes people and like making writing songs. The dopest thing I watched to help with the songwriting thing was the Eagles. You know the Eagles, they sing Hotel California, shit like that. They have a documentary called History of the Eagles, and it's crazy to kind of see
on Netflix.
Yeah, and it's crazy to see their writing process. There's also these little shorts on YouTube. Who does them? Vibe or something does them, but they're called Rhythm Roulette, where it's a producer Big Crit or someone like that will go into a record shop and they blindfold themselves. They pick out 3 records and they go make a beat from those records. So that's cool to see people's. It's just cool to see the process. I like to see people's processes and how they work. That's inspiring to me. That's what keeps me. I love seeing stuff like that, or watching Fade to Black, Jay-Z's documentary, anything that's behind the scenes and just gives you insight to how artists work. That's super dope to me. I love that. I love just.
What about you, Trilla? Where do you find your inspiration? What helps you out with your creative process?
Oh, man, I think just depending on the vibe that I'm trying to get, but. My biggest inspiration is all hip hop, man. I grew up straight hip hop. My brothers and my sisters, they're all from the hood, so I've always. I remember when I was young as heck is waking up to Do or Die's new albums dropping and all the Master P's. My sister had all his albums when he dropped, and my inspiration comes from. R&B too, man, because my sister's a real R&B freak. So, All For One was one of the.
All For One was
one of the inspirational albums when I was young. I wanted to sing like that. I swore I was gonna be something like that. But as you get older, you're nah. Then you start realizing where you at in life.
You could have been the next Ruben Studdard, bro. You should have stuck with it.
Nah, man, you can't. You can't sing and stuff. But I love making music. I think I can write R&B music for real. And I don't know, man. It's just my inspiration just come from, a lot of old hip hop artists. You know what I'm saying? But I think from Texas, the one that I really looked up to when I was young was Lil Flip, man.
Lil Flip.
I thought that he was. I thought when DJ Screw brought Lil Flip out, because when DJ Screw came out, I loved Big Hawk and Big Mo and all them. I was really into them. But when I heard Lil Flip, he stabbed it out and I was young like him too. And I was shit, man. This is the way we.
What was the album that was on? The album that was on was dope.
Underground Legend, man.
The intro to that, man. Back in the day, we used to have the big camcorder, the VHS tape in that hoe. He used to make little rap videos, and that was what the intro to that. That you don't know what I've been through.
Oh
you You don't.
Yeah, that Leprechaun album was dope too, though. I ain't even gonna lie, man. And I don't know, man. I just ever since I heard them freestyles and DJ Screw and then Michael Watts came out with Paul Wall and all them, it was I have to be a part of this game, you know what I'm saying? And I started freestyling that on just top of trash cans at school pretty much, people making beats with pens and shit, and that's whenever people started noticing, that I was doing something or whatever, and I love that feeling. And after that, it just kind of grew into a flame that I didn't want to stop, and I just constantly made music after that, man. I would literally be the only nigga in the group that was freestyling, and every party we was at, nigga, that's what I would do. People would expect that out of me and shit.
That's what's up, man. Chameleon Power, man.
I was just a major freestyle artist at the beginning, and now, to me, I don't even like to freestyle. You know what I mean? I can, but I'd rather write music or fire verse for you. You know what I'm saying?
To me, I feel like that's what defines a real artist when they get to that level and realize, I want to take the craft serious and I want to write. I want to do freestyle, because anybody can freestyle.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And like you were saying earlier, how you like to perfect your craft a lot. I was stuck in that for a long time, and I'm actually trying to get better at that. I think the last 2 records we recorded, I wrote them right then and there and shit. And I just trying to get out of that, taking 2-3 days to write a verse. You know what I'm saying? Because
Shit, man, I take 2-3 months to write a damn song sometimes.
Right. Yeah, you can.
Hey, man, I got to move, man. That's what we trying to. I've always tell people too, man, work at your pace too, because not everybody can work this at that rate, you know.
Right.
You know, I think you work. I think you work to get to that though.
Yeah, I think it's just like anything you do, you practice and you're gonna get it better at it. You know what I'm saying?
Once you know a little bit of what you want, you know what I'm saying, what you're looking for, and you
find yourself, man.
Right. It's just
before you know it, it comes fluently. Like,
and that make it easier for your engineers and stuff too. Whenever you kind of know what sound you want and stuff like that. So
it's also really good to work with an engineer that knows how to push you past your boundaries. Like Josh Kuntry, the Adam. Brother Josh Stone, man, he got me singing on this record that I did recently, and I don't sing, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not me, but everybody I've showed that song to, they were like, I want that song. They really loving that song, and
that's what's up,
and so it's kind of pushing me out my boundaries and doing new things and making real good music.
I mean, you gotta always grow, and if it means experimenting to grow and try something new, and that's what it comes down to, really.
Yeah, right.
Country's good at doing new.
Yeah.
He ain't never really been scared to try something. He don't care how it's gonna sound,
Right.
Of course, he says now.
I think what it is
I'd be very scared. It sounds like
when there's too many people,
man. I'll be very scared sometimes, man.
I think I'm
not scared to do it. It's weird to promote it or try to. It's like it's weird to fight. Like I was saying, the records we've been making so different. They're not nothing like the rap records. So it's like I could probably put them out and they're okay records, but what do I do with them? Like, who am I marketing this to? Who's my rap fans aren't gonna buy these records. These aren't any rap records. But no, it's scary. It's scary in a sense of what are people gonna think about it. People now, it's different than before. I could just do whatever, it didn't matter. But now it's are people not gonna want to listen to this anymore? Or they're like, this isn't.
Now it's more of
this isn't what I like him for.
Now, if you ever did something that was okay, I've always seen New Mexico. I always felt New Mexico was hardcore on love type jams.
Mm-hmm.
So if you did a project that had a lot of things that are for a certain market, whether it be a certain state or it had to be a state to me for it to be worth it to make some money,
Right.
Would you do it then?
I don't know, man. If I like the music. But I'm still gonna put these records out. That's still gonna. It's still gonna happen. It's just got to be marketed right.
Yeah.
I can't just. What it reminds me of is Garth Brooks, in the '90s, '97. He did that. He did an album called Chris Gaines' Greatest Hits or something.
Yeah.
Where he had Alter Ego.
Yeah.
And did all these weird pop songs and stuff. It's it kind of feel like that. If I could do something where it's a concept.
Yeah.
And make it work, I think that could be cool.
That'd be dope that you're at least open to see that.
I definitely want if I could do that. I like doing that. I was doing that for 3 weeks straight, and I had to start making myself do more rap stuff. Cause man, and it's kind of cool though, cause I get to feed both parts of my musical personality with that. Cause there's parts of me that wants to do that, and Josh actually enables me to be able to sing and the way that I need to sing and play the kind of music from scratch where it's live guitar, drums, bass, and stuff like that. I love writing like that, so it's cool to do that. But I still want to rip rappers' heads off and shit. So I gotta do that from time to time too.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I'm gonna go and cut that there. Run a little extra than I was expecting, but that's cool. And that just means to me we gotta have a part 1 and part 2.
So you got some edited points in there.
No, we covered a bunch of stuff. So expect a part 1 and a part 2. And that's just the way it's gonna have to be.
That's true.
I don't lie. When it comes to these podcasts, it's y'all story and y'all's insight on things, and I don't like to have nothing unsaid. So if it comes down to splitting up the parts, that's what it's gonna be.
We good, man. We look. I like this right here. Look like I'm on Vlad TV. Man, but yeah, man, it's cool.
But yeah, man, I appreciate it.
I'm trying to grab something to eat, man. You know, we get something to eat at.
Yeah.
There's some good food there.
There's something down the street. Let's cut this off though. But you know, I appreciate you guys coming through Country. You know,
yeah, man.
It's good to see you. You know, I'm glad that we can pick up where we left off, and you know, I mean, it's all love. It's always been all love.
Nah, man, I appreciate you having us come through. Like, that's why I made sure I brought it up to you.
I got to finally meet you. You know, I've only seen some videos. You know, but you know, meeting you, I feel like I can. I want to get to know your music a little more. You know, you know, that's just what happens when I'm. It's like you know, Country bringing you here. He's introducing me to you as a person, but also to your music. So I'm like, I'm definitely gonna check it out. You know, because anyway I can. I get exposed to some new music, whether it don't matter who it is. You know, I want to check it out because you know, you never know. I might be like, you know, hey,
yeah, right.
I do too much. So I might hit you when I, you know, shoot a video for you. You know, let's work on a track. You know, I got this beat for you that you know that'd be dope. You know, I mean anything. You know, it's just you know, I like to work. I done grown too much that you know you know, but the whole MOB, you know, I mean, I live by that, not a business, you know. Even my career, and I'm not even gonna say 9 to 5 because that motherfucker's a career, you know. I mean, I invested just about as much as I invest in his music, and I just, to me, I live by the best of both worlds, you know, where you know I have this other career, I live a double life in a sense, you know, and I love it, you know. But I appreciate y'all, man.
For sure.
Have you on the show, you know.
Man, appreciate you, bro.
You know, anytime if there's anything I can ever do for y'all, you know, I'm here, and you know, all it takes is a phone call. Just reach out. It don't matter, you know.
Yeah, man. You know,
I like to see my people successful. You know, at the end of the day, you know, I feel like if somebody makes it, we all make it in the sense that y'all are putting on for the city or even our area or whatever,
is, man.
You know.
We're trying to just bring awareness to our side of Texas, man.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
make it happen.
let's face it, you know, y'all put an eye on us, so you know they gotta listen, you know, they gotta listen.
Man, support each other.